Hello, welcome to my political life video blog. And you know why? Because it pays to be nice to people. So, here's my observation for you. You know, that means last Friday when I have returned on the Blaze Newswire on the Blaze Television Network. And so you know what that means. BuzzFeed is in hot water right now. Uh-oh. You might think it's so smart about this one. After all this media hype of BuzzFeed, and I have no objection whatsoever, well, guess what? I got news for you, because over the weekend, here's my purpose about this one. Purpose you don't want to know about this one, and it may not be surprising to you, but it might sound strange to you. Because last Friday, you know what that means. You know, rare statement from this, you guessed it, from the office of, you guessed it, Special Counsel Robert Mueller, that just issued a devastating blow to, you guessed it, a report of, you guessed it, from BuzzFeed, that many were hoping that, leads to indictment, except eventual impeachment of the president. So, give me one of the reasons why that Robert Mueller, what should ever believe him anyways? That the report is, you guessed it, inaccurate to this, ending this debate, whether the blockbuster, you guessed the report that would damage President Trump. I know what the hell is going on, and I'll tell you why. Because BuzzFeed's description of this specific statements to the counsel inside the office, characterization of this whole documents and the testimonies by obtaining this office, and has something to do with, you guessed it, Michael Cohen's congressional testimony are not accurate. You know what happens. BuzzFeed, the one to try to damaging, President Trump and get ready to impeach him. That's not how the system works. And here's why. Because last Thursday, the president, former Michael Cohen, tried to testify that he'd been, ordering, you guessed it, by Trump to lie to the Congress. So, whose idea is this for a change? A change for you know who. BuzzFeed is so stupid and so absurd to me. Listen to sound bites and see what I'm talking about from Fox News for a change.
You got a Fox News alert, and I want both of you, stand by for this. This is big. Because I want to get your reaction. You see Michael Cohen there. A spokesperson for the special counsel is making a rare statement to dispute the BuzzFeed news report, alleging that the president directed Michael Cohen to lie to Congress. Quote,
you see what I'm talking about?
Specific statements to the special counsel's office and characterization of documents and testimony obtained by this office regarding Michael Cohen's congressional testimony are not accurate. That is from people.
You see, I told you, not accurate. So whose fault is this? That I might add to this subject about this one? If you, by any chance you know what I'm saying? Because after this whole scenario about the BuzzFeed bombshell, I need to know the truth about the BuzzFeed bombshell and the media gone nuts. See what I'm talking about? They're gone nuts. So in the wake of the special counsel, you guessed it, Robert Mueller, are taking on preceded steps to publicizing the dispute of this reporting allegations. It has something to do with, let me guess for a change. Russia investigation. And some of the media has no clue whatsoever. You want to make this clear? But here's the blowback to relate this announcement. You know what that means? The worry of instead of, you guessed it, many voiced distress that Mueller tried to confirm President Trump's fake news moniker. And did you know that Jeffrey Toobin, host of CNN's Reliable Sources, says according to the New Yorker, could be on air after this announcement of this one, as far as we're concerned. Anyways, hat tip, Washington Free Beacon. Listen to this from, yeah, that's right, Jeffrey Toobin, might add.
Boy, I have a different view of the implications of all
you
this.
and your stupid different view.
This is
you mean this is a method? You mean this is a method for your information? Play that again.
Boy, I have a different view of the implications of all this. My view is this is the larger message that a lot of people are going to take from this story.
I thought you said
is
method.
that the news media are a bunch of leftist liars who are dying to get the president, and they're willing to lie to do it. Well, I don't think that's true. But
is that is that different? I mean, that's not. That's
I'm focused on the media side. Preet's talking about the law enforcement side. But I mean, they're not contradictory. But I just think this is a bad day for us.
What do you mean bad day for you?
Ryan, you seem to disagree a little bit. But I just think, it reinforces every bad stereotype about the news media.
It does reinforce bad stereotypes about the news media. I agree with you. I am desperate as a media reporter to always say to the audience, judge folks individually and judge brands individually. Don't fall for what these politicians out there want you to do. They want you to think we're all crooked. We're not.
But guess what? What about you? What about you? You two are idiots. You don't even understand the word really means. But what about Chris Cuomo? Has the facts straight about this one? Here's Chris Cuomo from Cuomo Primetime on CNN The Liberal last week, as far as we're concerned.
what was happening. Was he part of it? Did he know?
Yeah, no, that's an excellent point, and you know, I think that there's a lot to it. We just don't know from what we've gotten so far. Everyone's a little impatient. They were impatient last night. They all want to read certain things into it, and that's why, you know, I had the privilege of being on with Don Lemon last night, and I think everyone on there was like,
Don Lemon Tree, shut up.
Then X
Shut
follows.
up.
But nobody would say this is actually where things are. And it could very well be that the folks around him directed Michael Cohen to do stuff, and those folks around him were all Trump people, but not Trump himself.
Right.
On the other hand, Trump does have a pretty strong disrespect for the law, and, you know, it's certainly plausible that the reverse is true. This is all why we need an investigation, and if Donald Trump is truly innocent, as he said, he's the one who should be he should be clamoring for an investigation, not calling it a witch hunt. He should be saying, bring it on.
What?
I have nothing to hide.
Well, but it is
Oh, God, give me a break. So, how everybody knows how to react about the Mueller BuzzFeed News scenario bombshell. Well, guys, in the response on social media, according to Twitter.com, you guessed it, Trump tweeted this. Just remember this. Just remember this for a change. Just remember this. That it was BuzzFeed that released this, you guessed it, total discredit dossier paid by the Hillary Clinton company. Yeah, right. And those no good for nothing Looney Tune Democratic buffoons. Has an opposition research, and you know what? It has something to do with the entire Russia probe. It is based on it. A very sad day for journalism. You guessed it. But a great day for our country. And one more thing. Fake news is truly the enemy of the people. Well, I thought, Ellis was like, I thought you said Will Smith is the enemy of this. No. I'm not talking about the movie. I'm not talking about Jerry Bruckheimer movie, The Enemy of the State. Yeah, and he's so absurd to me. But you know what that means. I hate to say this. And you know, BuzzFeed, and you know why? Here's the bottom line. Why is BuzzFeed stands by it, but not accurate for the Trump story, and it goes back to worse as far as we concerned, and you tell me, and you know what that means. How's it feel? Bob Dylan says, and that is why it happens. And you know why? Because after this whole scenario of this one, because BuzzFeed has a huge announcement. It was standing by its story, which Mueller characterizing, yes, not accurate. Yeah, you have too many excuses. But Ben Smith, he's the editor-in-chief of BuzzFeed, says this in the whole response, because in the whole response to the statement tonight from the special counsel spokesman and standing by our reporting of this whole resources, and it tried to inform this into the special counsel domain. Oh, no, you wishful thinking idiot. You know what? Although it's very unlikely Mueller office will expand upon its statement and clarifying the facts in this whole dispute. Because just remember, you did it on purpose. Just remember, over the weekend you botched it up. You made it worse. Seriously, you made it worse. But guess what? The details is this for this whole scenario. You know, the New York Times has completely knocking down the doors into its foundation under a BuzzFeed story. And here's the reporting of this one. Because the New York Times has not independently confirmed to the BuzzFeed reports. And one person has familiar with Michael Cohen's testimony. Ain't that a stupid, idiotic trip of yours? But what about Rowan Farrow? You just remember, MSNBC host? And so is the writer of the New Yorker. Everybody's playing too many tricks about this one. And here's why. Rowan wrote this on his Twitter account. I can't speak to BuzzFeed's sourcing, but for what it's worth, I'll tell you what it's worth. You don't want to try to do all these idiotic things, haven't you? Because BuzzFeed and others, just like inside the media, except Chris Matthews, host of Hardball in MSNBC, has thrilling down his own leg, praising President. Shut up. And you know why? BuzzFeed remains the story, and it made it. Maybe to Robert Mueller and his phrasing, and what about the. Because you and the Times and MSNBC, and you know what that means. Especially you, BuzzFeed idiots. You too. You're so stupid. You're just a bunch of lies. Shame on you. Bunch of, that's right, lies. But you know the moral of this political life video blog story is this. If I may do say so myself, according to the Washington Post, just reported, that Mueller tried to deny it. According to the people familiar with the matter, aims to make this whole thing clear that none of those statements in this whole story, you guessed it, accurate. And you know what that means. Anything else, KB Civilized, you want to add to this one? BuzzFeed News? Shame on you! Now that's all I can say. Anyways, like I said, Journalism is DEAD. Dead! For now. Anyways, that's my political life video. You know what that means. That's my political life video blog story. And that's right, I'm sticking to it. And as for you, BuzzFeed News, get out of here, you creeps.